So what does your avoidant ex experience after the breakup? What is it that they go through? They might have abruptly discarded you, maybe slow faded out, and you're in a world of pain. Your heart is shattered. You had the rug pulled from under your feet. You thought this was your person, your twin flame. You thought you finally got it right this time. And then this person leaves with barely an explanation. No coherent answers, just vague excuses like, I can't give you what you need, or I'm just not ready for a relationship right now. You didn't get the closure, and you got really sideswiped with it. And the more you press for answers, the more they back off or even ghost you altogether. So what is this person experiencing? Your heart is absolutely shattered, but what are they going through? I hate to tell you, they are not in the pain that you are in. They are just not experiencing anything to the level that you are. And that's because avoidance avoid. This is a person that has spent a lifetime avoiding emotions, suppressing emotions, and distracting themselves from experiencing those painful emotions, keeping themselves busy, likely with friends, family, work, hobbies, interests, vacations, or maybe even jumping into a new relationship to get the distraction and that external validation that they crave. They're not allowing themselves to experience that pain that you're in. Early after the breakup, they're actually feeling a sense of relief. That's right, relief. Because they're no longer feeling the pressure, the stress of the relationship. Being in a relationship actually causes an avoidant a baseline of stress, especially if they're a dismissive avoidant. Whereas a person that's emotionally available finds the relationship as a source of stress relief. When times are tough, when you had a bad day, you lean into your partner for stress relief. The avoidant leans out. That's because they feel pressure on them to meet expectations, pressure to be emotionally available, pressure to be vulnerable, pressure to give something of themselves to their partner. It causes them anxiety. To understand this is a person that was consistently neglected as a child when it comes to emotions. They weren't given the love and nurturing in the way that they needed, and their feelings were routinely dismissed. They personalized this. They grew up to feel unlovable and defective. That's why they put walls up, to prevent other people from figuring out that they're defective. That's how they perceive themselves to be. So emotional closeness feels unsafe. Vulnerability feels unsafe because they learned that if you rely on anybody for your emotional needs, such as their parents or caretakers, you're going to get disappointed, hurt, perhaps even outright rejected and abandoned. So these expectations of emotional availability, vulnerability, expectations to show up feel very triggering. They couldn't meet the expectations of their parents or caretakers as children. Often parents were very demanding on them. And so any kind of expectations causes them enormous anxiety. So they're feeling stress relief. They no longer have to show up for you. So they're distracting themselves, they're feeling relief. But then, as you go into no contact, that relief will slowly fade away. And what happens is they start to feel safe. And once they feel safe because they're no longer being pressured to be in the relationship, they allow themselves to access those feelings for their partner that they suppressed. And they can actually start to regret the breakup and miss the person, or at the very least, miss the benefits of the person, miss the attention that they got from the person. And that is usually the point where they'll reach out, breadcrumb, give little clues to try to get that validation, to know that their ex still wants them. And yes, in some cases, they regret it to the point where they do reach out entirely to rekindle the relationship and give it another chance. But that usually takes a period of no contact. Avoidants, when they do process emotions, do it at a snail's pace. After the breakup, even a few weeks feels like an eternity to you. But a few months to the avoidant is like a drop in the bucket because they're suppressing emotions. They're avoiding, distracting themselves. Time does not move at the same pace and they process emotions very slowly, which is why it can take many months after the breakup for them to get to the point where they reach out at all. Now keep in mind, many don't reach out. There is no guarantee that your avoidant ex is going to reach out, but no contact gives you the best odds of that. But if this person does reach out, chances are they're probably just going to want to sweep it under the rug and pretend like it never happened and jump into getting that validation again from you. If you take them back with open arms without any condition, that's up to you, but that could be a massive mistake. Because if this person isn't doing any work on themselves, if they're not doing any kind of psychotherapy, any healing, chances are they're gonna blindside you again. They're gonna crush you again, because those same unhealed attachment wounds, those same triggers, those same fears and insecurities are still simmering below the surface. And it's inevitable that something will happen in the relationship that'll trigger them again. And when they get triggered, they suppress emotions and they avoid, which means running from the relationship and avoiding that intimacy, avoiding those things that trigger them. And the second discard hurts just as much as the first. So protect yourself. If you do want to give this person another chance, hold boundaries. And one great boundary is that this person is actively working on themselves to become more secure. That way you can protect your heart, but you are under no obligation to give them another chance. You are certainly free to move on and find somebody that is emotionally available, that will put the effort and emotional energy into you the way that you put it into them. Don't sell yourself short.